Watch fans, as we are getting ready, we have just reached the holiday season. We have some fun, festive Rolex Daytonas that you have got to take a look at. Stay tuned. So today we're going to look at pieces that are the perfect his, the perfect hers, and what we love to actually say for the couple watch, his and hers. The Rolex Daytona has always been a staple for Rolex. This has been one of those watches that I remember even as a former authorized dealer, people would go crazy over. We always made it where it was just not accessible. And even today, it is still that almost 20 years later. I'm absolutely in love with these two pieces that we're actually going to show you today. And it's really because of the Black Mother of Pearl. That's a full luxury piece, not something that you typically see, but it kind of gives you that iridescent rainbow feel. And I really feel like that is something that is extremely unique, but it also has that touch of beauty. To be able to have that and to actually have oxidized meteorite, which is what is going to be in the gold subdials on the watch itself, those are combinations with that gold gild that just really bring that sense of security when we talk about a luxury item, but still a piece that can be masculinely worn. You do not find a lot of items that actually do that. And with these, they really, really do. Now, for those of you who are like, okay, well, what is the Daytona or why is it even called that? Remember, this is actually that covenant piece still to today that you would even have Formula One drivers who sneak off during their races in January. So it's going to be right after this holiday. And they also want to participate for the chance to win their Daytona. Now, yes, could you go and buy one? Absolutely. But is it fun to know that you can still have the true heart for racing and do that? Yes, you can. This piece actually gives you that full luxury piece, and it really shows you that need for speed while giving you those luxury items. We've mentioned the Mother of Pearl. We've mentioned the actual gold meteorite. But one of the biggest things that I really love too are the diamond accents that are on there. Now, it is never told or shown what the exact carat weight is because for Rolex, this is actually a part of the art. So you're not focused on what the diamonds are, or you're not focused on how heavy the diamonds are. But what we will tell you is that the diamonds themselves are going to be D to G in color. That's actually going to be the standard. And also they're going to be VVS in quality. Now that can be VVS1 and VVS2 for anything that's going to be interior on the diamonds on the Rolex itself. So we're talking about all of these materials just in the inside of the watch that really set it apart, can be worn by the perfect masculine man, but also by the perfect feminine woman as well. This piece gives you that perfect balance. And that's why I say it's that awesome his and her for your closet that really is going to set apart because the two of you can decide who's going to wear it, who's not. There's even little games that you can play that say who made up the bed first or who got out of bed first. That person actually gets the Daytona. Yes, that person has won the race because they are up and at it first. I think that those are really fun. Now, what we'll also look at while we have these two pieces, we actually have it in solid 18 karat gold, which I really feel pops, especially, I want you to remember this. That is a solid piece of 18 karat gold. It's called a mono block. Mono meaning one, and that block, it's solid, stamped straight out. This piece really gives me, again, that extra touch of luxury. But for those who don't want to go all solid gold, do know that it also comes in a Rolesor, which is going to be the steel and gold. So that's 18 karat yellow gold and stainless steel, 904L. Those are going to be the quality of what Rolex uses. Why do they use them? It's extremely heat retardant, but it's also luxury. It's a fine metal. It's a little bit more refined than what you'll find for all the other brands. That's one of the things that sets Rolex apart. Just like for us, having the choice of these two during the holidays, only SwissWatchExpo can give you this many choices at once and have it right here in our inventory. So one of the things we're going to do now is we're actually going to take a look at what your Rolex Daytona does and actually how to operate it. You ready? So with your Daytona, it is going to be a Cosmograph. That's the real name of it. And the Daytona was a nickname that was picked up and is now actually a part of it. I love that it's stamped on this dial in that fire engine red. This model style is going to be more 2016, right until about 2023 is when you'll kind of see them kind of fade away with the new introductions being placed as well. But for the bezel itself, it does have a tachometer or a tachymeter. Now, what that does is it measures speed, not to be confused with the ability that we also have to actually measure distance. Those are going to be two different things, but I love that the bezel gives us that. So anything that you can measure in 1 unit, which we actually say 60 seconds equals 1 minute, but also 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So it's not just talking about the speed of racing. I have some guys who actually use this same watch and they could actually work in a bean planter factory. So, and it tells them how fast those items are coming down their line. So yes, it has industrial use just as well as it has sports or fun or, casual use or luxury use too. This really stands out. Now, with the actual crowns that are on the side of the watch, those crowns, the top one, once you unscrew them, now remember, keep them screwed down if you're not using them. But once we're starting to use them, we want to unscrew them. The top is going to allow you to start and stop. So when you actually click it, it will start the second hand, the large second hand that we grew up seeing, because that's not the true second hand on this watch. So this actually controls that function and feature by doing your start and stop up top. Now, the lower crown, this one is actually how you reset. Now, this does have a vertical clutch in there. So if you want to keep it running, it is okay. It is perfectly fine. It will not interfere with the watch. That's one of the funs of it. But it is a flyback, so it's going to go to whichever way is quickest so that you can get that more accurate time and you can actually keep going. And then when we're finished with those, make sure, again, let's screw those crowns down. As long as the crowns are screwed down, no dust, dirt, or water can get inside. And this is good for cold water sports. So if you're swimming, whether it be in chlorine or you're going to go to the beach or whatever the case may be, those are fine. But we don't want to keep it in places that are going to be more humid, because that is a little bit different and the gaskets are made a little bit different, not necessarily for that. To control the actual watch hands, we will use the middle crown. Yes, your classic or traditional crown. We'll unscrew this crown and that will allow us to move the hands. Now, because there's no date feature on this watch, guess what? If you have not been wearing it or the watch has stopped, that's the fun of it. I can give it a quick 40 to 60 turns. It's going to have full power inside of it. Because I don't have a date, I don't have to set it. That just means for me, I can pick this watch up and go. And if at any point that I choose to, I can actually set it on the fly. And just like that flyback chronograph on there, it's ready to go on the fly, just like I am. Now, we've talked about how to actually operate it, what actually gives those functions. We do want you to remember in the sub dials, which are the small circle, you have your second hand. So that gives you a second counter, a minute counter, and an hour counter. Again, that's a second counter, a minute counter, and an hour counter. You have everything that you're going to need to use this successfully. We like to laugh and joke around here because I only use it for my grill. Yeah, I like to time how often I spray and flip my meat on the grill, and it works perfectly for me. It's a piece that I can always enjoy. We want to know what you think in the comments below here at Swiss Watch Expo. Happy holidays.